Let's talk about heuristics. This is one of the things I'm most fascinated about. I've been fascinated by heuristics for years. In fact, my bestseller, Shortchanged by Shortcuts, is really about how heuristics impact consumer behavior regarding real estate. And it's a really fascinating thing. And I was just reading a newsletter that my financial planner sent me, Hillary Hendershot Wealth Management. If you're looking for a wealth manager, I cannot think of a better person. She's brilliant. And she wrote a newsletter all about heuristics. And I said, all right, well, we got to talk about this because this is my ballywick. I love it. And I got to use the ballywick in a sentence. So ballywick. All right. But let's talk about heuristics, and let's talk about it, how it impacts both consumer behavior and then business owner behavior. It's not radically different. I mean, business owners are just consumers, and we're all just human, and we're used by these heuristics, by these shortcuts, by these cognitive biases. And unless we're aware that they're at play, they literally just use our life. So let me show you what I mean. And we're going to do this particular video is going to be for consumer behavior, how this impacts consumers relative to their purchase of a home as a real estate agent, managing broker. I like that. I like looking at that. And then we're going to do part two. This is going to be how it impacts realtors and business owners. So let's look. We're going to look at representativeness. Okay. Representativeness is a heuristic. It's a shortcut. It's a cognitive biases. All those words mean the same thing. And it works like this. All right. I'm going to show you two coin flips. You tell me something about them. All right. Here's one coin flip one. And then coin flip two. Now, if you flipped a coin 10 times, which one of those would be more likely to come up? Coin flip one or coin flip two? Now, almost universally, people say coin flip two. Why? Because coin flip two is more representative of a random coin flip in our minds. If you look at coin flip two, it looks more random than coin flip one. And therefore, when I ask you, which is if you are going to flip a coin 10 times, which is more likely to come up, you'd say coin flip two. Almost every time people say that. Why? Because it's more representative of a random coin flip. When in reality, if you flipped a coin 10 times, you would need to flip it the exact same number of 10 times sets to produce set one as you would set two. Set two is in fact no longer random. Once it's written down, to get that exact scenario, that exact split, you would need to flip it as many times as you would to get straight heads, okay? But it doesn't look that way. It's not representative of a random coin flip. So therefore, we act as if coin flip set two is more random. Now, how does that impact our behavior? Well, it's not. It's just not. If it's at all mind-bending to you, if it's at all difficult to get that number two is not any more random than number one, then you are stuck in the bias. And that's a problem because you're going to live like something that's not true is true. And it's just not. That is no longer a random coin flip once you write it down. So what are you going to do about all that? Well, how does that impact consumer behavior? Well, consumer behavior is really sort of easy to see. What do consumers do? One thing they do in real estate is how they hire a real estate agent is based on, to a certain extent, that shortcut, that bias, representativeness. How? Well, look at how realtors are expected to dress. Look at the cars they're expected to drive. Look at how they're expected to talk. People will hire them if they look more like a realtor, if they're wearing that snappy clothes. Look at Instagram. They all look the same. They're made up, all the clothes, the cars, the fancy, look at the listing pictures that show up on social media. Look at how they talk. It all fits a mold. And if you run into someone who doesn't fit that mold, you're less likely to hire them because they don't look like a realtor. They don't look normal. They don't talk normal. You're less likely to go in that direction. That's why they all tend to look the same, because they know that's what it's going to take to get hired. Looking professional, that kind of thing. It's a real deal for people that looking professional is somehow. Look at Gary Vee. Look at how Gary Vee acts, dresses. He does not look professional. He's all the way outside the norm in terms of looking and acting the way a traditional business mogul, someone would look and act. And he gets all kinds of crap for it. But because he's so already successful, he gets away with it. but you wouldn't hire someone who just showed up looking or talking like Gary Vee. Why? Because you don't think they produce the results. You're not actually asking the questions that matter. How many homes did you sell? How much over asking did you sell them for? How many homes in my price point did you sell? How much over in the asking did you get in my price point? People hire the neighborhood expert as if the neighborhood expert had some secret knowledge that would help them sell your house for more, which is insanity. No one has secret knowledge about your neighborhood that's going to make your house more valuable to a buyer. But people hire neighborhood experts because they're more representative of what they think an effective realtor would be like. No, that doesn't make any sense at all when you take it apart. The only question to really, actually, if you really wanted to get an effective realtor, you'd find one that worked all over your city. Why? Because they're more likely to have buyers from all over your city. People aren't buying a house with you in your neighborhood because they already live in your neighborhood. The person that buys your house is going to come from outside your neighborhood. Get a realtor that specializes in your price point. They know how to market a house like yours and that they reliably sell their listings quicker and for more money than average. Those questions can be answered. They can be measured. And you know how many people ever ask me those questions? None. No one does. They hire people that look like them. They hire people that look like realtors. That's how people go. That's representativeness at play. That's the exact same bias that makes you think this, number two, is more random than number one. Same shortcut. Now, the next video, we'll look at how that impacts real estate realtors, okay? But in the meantime, if you have any questions about this impacting you as a consumer, let me know. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company over at eXp Realty.